So when we're working with our kids in speech, working on sound production, k, can you make that sound for me? K. Now can you say k, ow? Can you put those sounds together? Can you make the word cow? We even get that sound all the way up into spontaneous speech. We've only given our kids auditory models. We've not bringing any literacy into play necessarily. We've definitely not brought any print into play. The only way to access the orthographic processor is through print. You have to bring in print. And the phonological processor and orthographic processor have to have that good working relationship to be able to decode. So we really need to bring in that print while we're working on that sound production to establish that link. So remember when we were decoding the word cat, you recognize that the letter C, your orthographic processor recognizes that shape of the letter, and your phonological processor fills that sound in simultaneously. That has to happen simultaneously. We don't want to have any hesitation whatsoever. So for our kids, as we're working on that sound production, we want to make sure that we don't get that sound all the way to conversational level without having that corresponding print going along with it. So as they get into elementary school, or maybe if they're already in elementary school and they're reading, there's no hesitation whatsoever. They look at the letter, the sound goes along with it. What happens then is as they're reading, they can have a phonemic fuzziness. So they may be reading, they may have that sound in conversational speech, but as they're reading, even if there's a second of hesitation, so they're reading the word cat and they think t, k, 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 at, that second of hesitation can compile over time. And remember, we talked about difficulties with decoding. All of those difficulties can compile, and over time, those little problems with decoding can affect comprehension. So once your student is able to correctly produce that word with the print, then you're going to introduce a picture or an object. I have found that many of our students, especially with speech sound disorders, have that phonological representation of a word. So Timmy may look out in the driveway and to mom and dad say, "Let's go for a ride in the tar." And mom and dad are going to say, "Timmy, can you say car for mom?" You can do it to me. Say car, car, car. You can say car for mommy. "Yeah, mommy, that's what I said. Tar. Let's go for a ride in the tar." They have that phonological representation of what that word is. So in our therapy session, what's the first thing we do? We put a picture of a tar right in front of Timmy. So the first thing he does is he looks at that picture and he goes, "Oh, it's a tar!" So we're working against ourselves with that phonological representation. So if you come in the back door with the print and they're not seeing that picture, you're not working against that phonological representation while you're repairing the production at the same time. So you segment the print, you blend the print, and then you introduce the picture or the object. And this is that area where I have seen so many light bulbs go off over the years. Because for those kids, for so many years, that's been a tar. That's what that is for them. So with the print, we've been working through it, and they can correctly produce the word car now because we've started in isolation. They've made that sound, they've segmented the word, they've blended the word, they're correctly producing the word, and then you put the picture with the print, or you get out a little toy car, put it with the print. It's that aha moment of, "Oh, it's a car." They very much get it at that point of why mom and dad for so many years have been saying, "Say car, you can say car for me." That orthographic knowledge, that print knowledge has come together with that phonological knowledge.